have physical media. The idea of having the stuff you love in physical form so you can treasure them for as long as you want. This applies to a bunch of stuff. You like movie sagas like Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings? You likely own the books. Have a favorite superhero? You might own the games, figurines, or comics based on them. Have a favorite game franchise? You likely own the physical games. And with stuff like that, the list goes on. There are many pieces of media that I cherish very much. The Legend of Zelda, Spider-Man, Pokemon memorabilia, Luigi's Mansion, and, most prominently, Scott Pilgrim. You know, the series written and drawn by Brian Lee O'Malley, a story based on a young adult named Scott Pilgrim that has to fight the 7 evil exes of his love interest and girl of his dreams, Ramona Flowers. There's a bunch of kung fu, romance, and a plethora of references to video games and music, and so you've got a cult classic that has gotten a gigantic following through the years. The original comic series started in the late 2000s and spiraled into a hit movie in 2010 and culminated in the series' grand finale with Scott Pilgrim's finest hour, the 6th and final issue of the story. Through the years, we've got figurines, posters, colored editions, hardcover editions, Blu-ray re-releases of the movie, full collections of the books, and the crowning jewel of this media empire, the video game. And you might be asking, why is a video game the most sought-after piece of media stemming from the Scott Pilgrim empire? Well, because you can't get it anymore. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game, was released in 2010 for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3's digital stores, and was only available for 4 years before it was discontinued in 2014 due to unknown reasons. Rumor has it that it has to do with licensing issues between Universal and Ubisoft. But there's nothing conclusive about it. And earlier in August 2020, the whole franchise turned 10 years old, from which 6 years the game has been unavailable for purchase. But you might be wondering, what the fuss is all about? Why care about a licensed product that was pulled from the digital market? Well, because it's going to be really hard to find a game that had this amount of love poured into it. This is a game that is not only faithful to the source material, but is also fun, challenging, with a beautiful art style, and a soundtrack that is nothing short of legendary, made by Anamanaguchi. This game is the culmination of everything Scott Pilgrim stood for. Amazing character design, memorable characters plus set pieces, and a love story that anyone could relate to, because it felt so real. The game itself does a legendary work in representing certain events and fights that happen in both the comics and the movie, creating a blend that allows any type of fan to enjoy everything it has to offer. Things like having 4 playable characters, a level up system, and references galore in every piece of scenery the game goes through are some of the things that makes this game so meaningful to so many people. This is not your regular arcade-style beat-em-up. This is Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, a game where its creator involved himself in every aspect of the art style, even drawing every unique ending, because with multiple characters, you need multiple endings. These are the Wildlands of Toronto, Canada. This is one of the best stories ever told. This is the first and only time we could explore and feel the world of Scott Pilgrim from a new perspective. This game is the poster boy of the idea that digital media might not be the best path to follow when it comes to video game preservation. Fans of this series want this game so much that they constantly pester sites like Limited Run Games asking for a physical re-release of the game for newer hardware. They tweet at Ubisoft, they ask Mr. O'Malley for a re-release, and it doesn't matter how much they ask, we haven't gotten anything. Yet. I'm one of the lucky ones that still has the game downloaded in a console, but there's no denying that I would love to have the game polished and re-released in newer hardware. This is a game that represents so much for the fans, it's not even funny, and the amount of support they have poured into the idea of a re-release goes to show how good the game really is. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is definitely one of my favorite pieces of media ever, and I want to give thanks to the guy that introduced me to this franchise. I want to thank Gerard the completionist Khalil. If it wasn't for you, man, I would have never come across Scott Pilgrim. I never approached it because it never captured my attention, and if it wasn't for your video, my love for this series and hence this video would have never existed. So, thank you. I also want to give thanks to Brian Lee O'Malley because he created this amazing franchise, and I want to give thanks to Anamanaguchi for producing what might be my favorite video game soundtrack ever. If you haven't heard it, it's still available on iTunes, and it's great. The only way that you can support the guys that made the game is by actually buying the soundtrack of Scott Pilgrim. It's fantastic. Another Winter is one of my favorite songs ever. So really check it out. Here's to Scott Pilgrim versus the world, for it to forever be remembered. And hopefully makes a comeback. But that's going to be all from me for today. Thank you all you guys for watching. And today is special because by the time this video was released, I hit 400 subscribers. I'm incredibly thankful to every single one of you, to every single one that watched any video, for every single like, every single comment. I promised that I was going to do a video on how do I make my videos myself, how's the process of creating and everything, and I promise I will do it soon. But until then, thank you all you guys for watching. If you like the video, please hit the like button. If you want to see more of my content, you can consider subscribing. Here's my episode on the pre-release of No Straight Roads, and here's my episode of Paper Mario the Origami King. Both episodes, I'm really proud how they came out, and I highly recommend you both of them. But yeah, that's going to be it from today. Once again, thank you all you guys for watching, and I will see you guys pretty soon. Take care.